Hey guys, welcome back to Missildine Online. My name is Corey, and today we're going to go over the recent press conference of the PlayStation 4. That's right, you're here because the PlayStation 4 was revealed on February 20th in the Sony press conference. And I wrote down some notes of things that I really wanted to talk about, and some really big things. First of all, to me, it seemed like something that they really wanted to push is their streaming. PlayStation 4 is going to be a hub for streaming almost everything. Gaikai is a streaming giant that they are working with. One of their prototypes actually won the Guinness Book of World Records, and now they are being sponsored, I guess you could say, by Sony. The whole thing is you can instantly experience, this is what they said, anything you want. So you can go and play the first, like you can now in PlayStation Plus, how you get a time trial of like 60 minutes. Well, now you can do that, which they say you can do it with every game. We'll find out if that's true, but it would be cool if it is. Another thing is that they are partnering, Sony is partnering with Ustream, and will be able to broadcast live with the share button that is actually built into the new DualShock 4. Speaking of the DualShock 4, let's jump into that. It's changed a lot, but the basic design hasn't changed. There is a little touchpad on it, not a touch screen, a touchpad on the front of the facing of the controller. All the buttons are still there, the analog sticks are still there, the trigger buttons are still there. There's also a light bar, that they called it, on the top, which interacts with a Kinect sensor type of bar thing, and that scares me, because they went over it real quick in the press conference. They didn't bother to really say what it was like real quick. Like, we know this peripheral might piss some people off, let's quick. So that's scary. With the controller, it also has the, like I said, it has the share button. You press the share button and you can instantly stream to Ustream. You can do videos, other friends on your PlayStation can see that you're doing that, which is very interesting. I'm curious to see what happens. I think there's going to be a lot of things on Ustream that are not of decent quality, and we're going to see a lot of people that are attempting to do something with it. And how that goes is going to depend. Speaking of the technical feats of the PlayStation 4, there is 8 GB of RAM, which is huge. I believe the PlayStation 3 has 4? I want to say 4. But this will have 8 GB of RAM, and there is no solid-state drive. I know a lot of us were kind of hoping for that. It's going to be a hard drive, as of right. They will be using an x86 platform processor, which is very good for PC ports, and being that I am a PlayStation 3 gamer, Sony gamer, as well as a PC gamer, I like that, because it's going to allow easy access for ports, and hopefully good ports as well. There's also the issue of backwards compatibility. Now, due to cloud gaming, backwards compatibility is absolutely a thing, thanks to Gaikai and their partnership with Sony. However, it comes to mind, and I think this is an issue that they didn't fully address. Are used game sales, are they going to be able to use used games? That's a question. Also, do we have to rebuy all of the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2 games that we already bought in physical copies to be able to play them on the PlayStation 4? It is backwards compatible, but will I be able to, say, stream Uncharted 3 on my PlayStation 4? There were a lot of issues that I don't think were addressed right away, and considering its release date, which we'll get to in a second, that's scary. With streaming, the PlayStation 4 can stream directly to the Vita, so the Vita will be around for hopefully a while, it appears, because they have this interlaced thing into the PlayStation 4, which is fantastic. We were able to use it at the end of the PlayStation 3's life, we'll be able to use it at the beginning of the PlayStation 4. That's okay with me, I just got a Vita, I want to be able to use it, and now I can. There's also going to be a low power mode that you can access, that you can play a game and then, I want to go to bed. And you can turn it off, and then say you want to get back on first thing in the morning for a quick rumble real quick. You can leave it in low power mode, which uses virtually no power, according to them. There's no facts yet. And you can just start up the game as soon as you wake up. There's no need to start up the system, start up the disc, nothing like that. There was also, they showed, an improved user interface. It looked like what they have now on the Vita, It uses the same like blue type of like background, but we'll see how that goes. Sucker Punch introduced a new game that will be coming out for the PlayStation 4 as well, which is humans with superpowers and some type of police state. And that is actually Infamous Second Son. So new protagonist, new powers, new story, probably. And we'll also have to... Square Enix did a wonderful thing for us, and I love them so much. I'm using a lot of sarcasm right now because they've fallen very low at this point. They used a tech demo from E3 last year. Now. Great. They also said we'll have to wait for E3 to hear any news about Final Fantasy games. Great. Thank you, Square Enix. Here's a big thing that I think might cement PlayStation 4 among new people that might be thinking of buying it, is Blizzard. Blizzard is partnered with Sony. What? Diablo 3 will be coming to PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, and we will be able to see some of that, what that is going to entail. Probably, they said, Chris Metzen said, at PAX East, which is going to be great because I'm going to be there and I get to kind of hopefully try to figure that out. There's a lot of issues that were not addressed in this, as I've said. One being, is there a disk drive? It was never mentioned if there was a disk drive, and they also never showed the design of the console. I understand that the design is not important, but both of those things leading up to each other and entangled into each other shows me that there might not be a disk drive, and we would be able to tell that from the design alone, correct? So if they didn't want to tell us that yet, they wouldn't show the design. Clearly they have a design already, right? It's coming out holiday 2013. So its release is going to be this year, holiday 2013. That's soon. That's real soon. 10 months? 9 months? For a new console? And they didn't show the design? We don't know any of the real details yet? I don't know. We'll see. But if it doesn't have a disk drive, that means there is no more used games. At all for consoles. Except the Wii. That's it. I don't know what that means for GameStop and the retailers that some of us enjoy. I'm not a big fan of GameStop, but that's it if PlayStation 4 doesn't allow used games either. There was also no price tag. We never got to see a price tag added on to this conference. We never saw how much it was going to be. We never saw any ballpark of how much it's going to be. Another issue for me was the thing with the controller. What is that? Why is it there? And what does it do? I want to know the details on that because that's going to be a big thing. With the Xbox 720 rumored to make Kinect be a necessity, I'm curious what PlayStation 4 is going to do with that type of thing. Do we need to be sitting in the front of that bar to game? Because I don't want to be Wiiing all over again. That sounded wrong. Ignore that. Will Microsoft be able to challenge Sony? Or rather, will Sony be able to challenge Microsoft? I think that's the bigger issue here. There's a lot of potential. A lot of potential was released in this press conference. But I don't know. I don't know if it's there yet. It looks amazing. I mean, while watching it, I was getting really excited and, you know, screaming and doing a fangirl scream a lot. But looking back and thinking a lot on this before I made this video, there's a lot that I don't know. And the disk drive is one of them. To be honest with you, I'm okay with it being digital distribution only. I really am. Used games are great. But because the Xbox 720 is not accepting used games, if the PlayStation 3 was to accept, or PlayStation 4 rather, was to allow used games, you would have developers and publishers that no longer want to make games for PlayStation 4, but rather Xbox 720 so that they can always get a profit from their game. Right now, with used games, they don't see any of that profit. So, what would happen then? Would people stop making games for the PlayStation 4? Honestly, if PlayStation 4 decides no used games, it'll be okay. It'll be alright. Something else very strange to me was the fact that they said that the game will preload, that the console will preload games that it expects you to buy. Now, there was a lot of games that seemed to deal with this thematic issue of police states and people knowing a little too much about your life. For instance, Sucker Punch did it with Infamous Second Son, and of course Watch Dogs from Ubisoft. But it seems to me that the PlayStation 4 is doing that. It's preloading games that it thinks you will buy. Kind of scary. I'm okay with that though, because odds are, if it thinks I'm going to buy it, I probably am. Looks at all my gaming history and decides which one I want, I probably want it. Now there was a lot of information that wasn't given to us at this press conference, and then there was the basics that was. The basics that was is good. I want to see how they elaborate on it, and I want to see what Blizzard and Bungie are now doing with their new partnerships with Sony. We know what to expect from Media Molecule and stuff like that, but we don't know what to expect from Blizzard on a console anymore. Anyways, Rock and Racer was great. And Bungie coming to PlayStation 4. That's gonna be a big butthurt for some Xbox players. I know it is. Perhaps the biggest thing we can take away though from this PlayStation 4 announcement is, one, we're getting a PlayStation 4, guys. We're getting that. Holiday 2013. Great. Just in time for Christmas. I can get it for free, hopefully. Probably not though. My parents hate me. The second biggest thing to take away from this is the fact that streaming is going to be super simple. Actually, after this, I'm going to go set up a Ustream account and I'm going to start using that instead of Twitch. Because I'm going to be using my PlayStation 4 a lot. And I'm going to be streaming stuff a lot, straight from it. That's amazing. I can't wait to do that. And I think that's going to do two things. It's going to make videos that take time to make and people put quality into them that much better. But it's also going to flood the YouTubes with so much just crap. But then it throws into this whole copyright thing. Needless to say, the press conference has raised more questions than answers, I feel. And Square Enix, in my mind, kind of blew it for me. I was really hoping they were going to do something impressive, and for me it was insulting, I think, what they did during their press conference, to be completely honest. But I guess we'll see at E3. So there you have it. The PlayStation 4 specs are out. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned. And remember, never give up. Never surrender.